Back at Winton with round 5 of the Fujitsu V8 Supercar Series, and it's race 2 where we invert the top 10. So Sam Walter, the Tasmanian, starts from the front row with Carl Reindler, and our race 1 winner Dean Canto goes back to row 5.
It always is a very big challenge here at Winton Raceway, trying to make passing manoeuvres. Certainly, though, I would expect the cream to rise to the top in this occasion, and these conditions all over the place a little bit, but we'll see how these guys go.
Tony Bates trying to rebound from that discretion in race 1 with Grant Denyer, who's at the back alongside Nandy Kiss, the V8 Ute driver, making his V8 Supercar debut in the Fujitsu Series. Carl Reindler, Sam Walter, front row of the grid, and it's Reindler who makes the best of the starts in very greasy conditions for race 2.
Yeah, Sam Walter caught sleeping. Now he's coming to the inside. This
Michael Trimble went in far too hot and takes Tim Slade off at turn 1. There's damage to the Global Jet Commodore, a wet infield, chaos reigning supreme.
Oh, what you love to see here at Winton, isn't it? With the conditions over the last couple of days, the greasy circuit.
Oh!
If anyone leaves the road, it's a real struggle to get back on, but the pushing and shoving going on here, and Carl Reindler has bolted.
Yeah, he's gone. Jack Perkins muscled through on Jeff Emery in the Tag Motorsport Commodore, and Emery's having a best ever weekend. Mark McNally in a bit of grief in the background there with Marcus Zakanovic, but Reindler in these tricky conditions has taken off.
He has, but you can see that Dean Canto and Steve Owen are up to about 4th or 5th place already. With all the action going on, as I say, the guys with the experience, they know these sorts of conditions, they understand the cars, they're able to make the most of it in that opening lap.
This is the run back onto what was the old back straight before the lengthening of this circuit to 3 kilometres with the last couple of turns. This is the replay of the start. Trimble got a flyer, but was out of control and never was going to make turn 1.
Yeah, I think you can see the damage on the right front there as well. The car just pirouetting. I think he got a little bit optimistic there with his braking point and a bit more contact. This car's going everywhere. In some of these shots, you can see the greasiness of the circuit. There's the racing line and just off the racing line. One of the problems you have, obviously, is trying to generate tyre temperature in these conditions. And to get it up to maximum tyre temperature, you need to work the tyre. But you can see Reindler there really struggling to get the car to turn in. On the exit there, the car just wants to run wide. So tricky conditions for these guys to compete in.
This has been a real bounce back for Reindler. He qualified 18th, his worst performance in his rookie year, and he's charged his way through 9th in race 1, front row start for this race 2, but Jack Perkins just starting to take some ground, and Tim Slade there with a nice ding in the door. He's managed to recover from that incident with Trimble, popped out the other side and sits 3rd.
He does, and Jack Perkins, he's come from 8th on the grid to be 2nd at the end of lap 2 here. So, I mean, clearly it's obviously very competitive out there. These guys are pushing very hard to try and break a bit of a gap and get the points.
What adjustments do you make when the track is greasy? Can you make any adjustments setup-wise or on the run during the race that are going to help you at all?
The thing that is very difficult in these conditions is you wouldn't want to change the setup of the car in terms of springs and shocks and geometry and so forth. What you would do is back all the roll bars off in the car, so you make them as soft as you possibly can. Take a bit of the front brake bias away, so the rear brakes do a little bit more of the work, and just gingerly work the car till you can get that tyre temperature up and start generating the grip.
Yellow flag out, safety car boards as well at turn 11. So all that work Carl Reindler did on cold tyres will go to nothing. This is Steve Owen slipping up the inside of Dean Canto.
Steve's clearly got the confidence. You can just see in those slippery conditions, he just understands that car. And there's Bates off on the side. Maybe that damage from the front. Could have been something from that first corner incident. But out on that slippery grass, I don't think he'd be going too far at all.
And that brings out the safety car. So race 2 slows on down. Shame for the Tag Motorsport team. Jeff Emery's having a great weekend so far. The same luck can't be said for his teammate, though, Tony Bates, off the road and on the grass.
Position there. It hasn't reached the sand pit, so it's a bit strange as to why he's out in that situation. You can see a lot of damage on the front of the car, so we'll... here we got a replay here.
The right front tyre rubbing on the guard. The leader's just behind. Pretty wise move to step off the circuit now. This is a replay of the first turn. Look for the yellow car in the background there. Oh, he takes to the grass and drills the side of Mark McNally and goes around in front of the whole field. So Tony Bates is out of race 2. We'll get a restart at Winton after the break. Time to go back to racing. Race 2, round 5 of the Fujitsu V8 Supercar Series. And Carl Reindler, the V8 rookie, leading the way for Howard Racing. His teammate, Dean Canto, sits position 5. He's our race 1 winner. And you can see there, Jason Bargwanna, it's pretty much a single-line racetrack. It
is, and that dry line is just starting to develop. The guys just started to generate some tyre temperature. We've had the safety car come out, and they've just lost all that tyre temperature. Back to square one again. Now they've got to work hard, generate that tyre temperature again, and try and keep it on that single file dry line that's starting to develop.
You can see the cars climbing the curbs on the run up to what's historically known as Penrite Corner. David Cedars trying to get on by Damien Assailant. But Perkins applying the pressure. He's done lots of laps of Winton over the years, has had a shocking run in the last couple of rounds, but he just wants to bounce back. This car, though, it is for sale, so a good result today can always help a sale.
Oh, absolutely. Get it out there and let people know what's going on. But if you notice the top 6 or 7 cars here, they really are the cream of the Fujitsu field at the moment. The guys with experience, the guys you expect to be at the front. And these conditions, that's what I love about racing in these conditions. It really does get your ability to the fore. It doesn't really matter what the car's doing. You're travelling around about 5 seconds a lap slower than what you would normally be in dry conditions. So you've really got to muscle the car around. And as we see Jamie watching eagerly on the side there.
Trying to pick up a few tips maybe from these guys, but Steve Owen has slipped on by Tim Slade, who has a little sideways moment on the run through 1, and that'll leave him a little vulnerable if he can't cover the line up the hill towards turn 3.
Yeah, the problem is the greasy stuff. So, I mean, Steve Owen's really starting to be the fastest car out there at the moment. He's working up to the back of Jack Perkins and starting to look very strong.
Now, in the space of 6 laps, Dale Wood, who started back of the grid, 29th, is position 11.
Oh.
Shannon O'Brien going around. Ben Eggleston did a great job to miss him.
Oh, and will he stop?
It's hard to stop when the grass is wet. He'll get it going again. But Shannon O'Brien, his first round back in the ex-Larkin Motorsport Falcon. Carl Reindler, though, the former open wheeler man, an Australian Formula 3 champ. He's represented Australia, finished on the podium in A1 Grand Prix. He's really adapting to these cars well.
He is, and clearly got good equipment as well. I mean, Howard Racing produced some fantastic race cars, teammate to Dean Canto, and a very competitive team, a championship winning team. So it really does help when you're surrounded by a good organisation, and that's really what's helping Steve Owen this year. I mean, he's got a great team behind him, and is clearly out the rounds that we've had so far has been the standout performer, and here he is again working on the back of Jack Perkins.
He's yet to finish off the podium, Steve Owen, as Dean Canto makes up one more spot going by Tim Slade. But Owen, a winner on the streets of Adelaide. He was 3rd at Wakefield Park. He won at Sandown, and he was 2nd at Queensland Raceway. You just can't beat that sort of consistency that's consecutive and regular as well.
No, that's exactly right. And he's travelling around about half a second lap faster than the guys in front at the moment as well. So he's clearly, and the times are coming down as well. Tyres are coming up now. And we should say, a bit more contact.
Grant Denyer and Jay Vernick down at turn 1.
That would have got Grant's attention. That big white Marshall's post coming up pretty quick.
I reckon it would have got the Marshall's attention as well, just quietly. Pops back out the other side and plays on. Terry Wyhoon, it's been a dramatic weekend for the Fujitsu Series veteran. This car is in its last race, and Terry will be in a BA for the next round at Bathurst, but just getting out of the drama there on wet grass is half an effort in itself.
Oh, it really is, and certainly a bit of a challenge and a half. Kyle's doing a very good job here. He had Jack really pushing in quite hard, but now Jack's got the mirrors full of Steve Owen and through. One of the classic passing opportunities here at Winton Raceway. I think I passed Craig Lowndes there to win the round back in 2000. And it's one of those classic passing opportunities. You get a good drive off the corner, which is very important in your setup. You need good front grip, and then you need good drive. And if you can get up the inside, you can pull that passing manoeuvre off.
He's really mowing through them. Turn 11's been a favourite spot for Owen today. They've got a new engine on board this ex-Paul Morris Motorsport chassis. They used a spare engine last time out at Queensland, and Terry Wyhoon's machine, he's got it going at least, but it's
looks
not
a bit battle scarred, doesn't it?
No, it's not had the best of days. This is Gene Rollinson, the young Kiwi, just losing it all by himself.
They just look very graceful when they get to the grass, don't they?
I'm sure the driver's thinking that. Nandy Kiss, the V8 Utes regular, having his first run in the second of the J. Verdant Commodores.
Nandy's having a tough weekend. He got fined for crossing the blend line on Friday as well, and he's now off the track trying to get back on. So a bit of a tough debut for Nandy.
Now, this is the pressure. It's on Carl Reindler. There's still 6 laps to go, and Steve Owen had a little bit of a think there, a little bit of a run, but you just don't want to step off that dry line. It's not completely wet off the line, but it's still damp, and that can just affect things. Turn 11 is his favourite spot, and he has another look, but he's got speed here.
Where he's got to be careful. If he has one slight miscalculation in this passing manoeuvre, if he can pull it off, he's got those 2 cars right behind him, Jack Perkins and Dean Canto. They're ready to take up the position. So any contact between these two, the next 2 guys are ready to take over the lead of the race.
Reindler understeer at turn 1.
That's enough.
He's in strife. Owen has a look to turn 3, but decides better of it. But Reindler under massive pressure here. David Reynolds is 5th. And he's closing in on the top 4 because they're all bottled up behind the Howard 27 car.
Absolutely. Carl made that slight mistake. Steve tried to get the drive up the hill, but he was on that greasy line, so he couldn't get the drive and had to tuck back in behind. That's now put Jack Perkins back in the picture. This is what I love about V8 racing. I mean, you've got the mirrors full, you've got the windscreen full, and Jack having a bit of a look down the inside.
He'll be on the wrong side for the next one. But if you can hang out there,
and
you have a
wants
chance.
part of this.
Yeah, he's left himself. He's open to this one. Now Reynolds will dive up the inside. Everyone's getting in on this one. And Canto, there's no grip there, and Reynolds gets him.
There you go. So he's tried to make the one pass up, and he's gone back one, unfortunately.
So Slade closes in now. So too does Jeff Emery. Jonathan Webb's in the mix. So the top 10 really bunching up. And just behind there with the lights on, from the back of the grid, that's Dale Wood.
He's done a fantastic job, and all that excitement just started then with that slight run wide from Carl Reindler, who's now got himself, we've got another one on the slippery grass.
Ben Eggleston trying to find his way back to the bitumen.
He's miles off the road there. It all started with that slight mistake, and now Carl's actually got a bit of a break. He's opened up that little bit of a gap from Steve Owen and taken the pressure off him.
Replay at turn 1, Taz Douglas in the Hitachi Commodore losing the rear.
Yeah, one of the classic examples there. He's changed that brake bias at the start of the race to try and look after the the tyres, obviously, and stay on the slippery, greasy track. But as it's gripping up, as the grip comes, you've got that rear bias too far back, and it's caught him out.
Back with our leaders, Reindler up and over the curbs. You've got to get a car that will ride those curbs and land nicely and allow you to really change direction quickly, as Brett Holdsworth in the TTM Commodore having his best run of the year, right in behind Damien Assailant.
Well, it is, and it's a very challenging compromise here at Winton. You really need the car to be soft and pliable to generate grip on the tyre, yet it needs to be stiff to help with the direction change so that it doesn't, fall over and that sort of thing. Yet you still want to have exceptional power down and good front grip for braking. So it is a real compromise here. Some of the teams, clearly they do their miles and they do their homework, and they start to come out in front.
Now the leaders are at turn 11, and the safety car has been called, and that's the reason why. Nandy Kiss having a shocker.
Yeah, that car's not going far at all. Hopefully turn that car off, because if it sits there for too long it will cook, and yep, you just got to wait for a tow now.
It looks like it's over at turn 9, so the Jim Beam safety car assumes command. Carl Reindler is the race leader. Steve Owen in second spot from Jack Perkins. David Reynolds in 4th from Dean Canto, but Carl Reindler has never won a V8 Supercar race. Can he hang on? We'll have the restart of race 2 after the break. The second restart in race 2 for the Fujitsu V8 Supercars at Winton. Carl Reindler leading the way, the young Western Australian. Just a few laps to go. Can he hang on?
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly Steve Owen's car looks very racy in this one. He's made a change to that rear suspension, which cost him a little bit in that first race. They've gone back to what they knew for qualifying, and straight away he's on that back bumper. He's really got a couple of chances here. He can come off the end of the sweeper and dive down the inside under brakes, or picking up bits of race car there.
Looks like it's off Dale Wood's car, 1300 chopper.
Or he might have a look up in turn 11, 12 sort of section.
Here he comes, in the gap. Reindler leaves the door open.
Yeah,
it's pretty clean. Now there's a rub, and Perkins is in the mix too.
Look, look, we've got to. Carl's got to be careful here not to get hung out on the outside because he could go back about 6 spots if he's not careful.
There's no grip on the exit of turn 9, and Reynolds gets him. Canto gets him. So he goes from 1st to 5th in about 3 corners.
Well, there you go. He's had that opportunity to win that race.
There's the rear diffuser from Dale Wood's car. Everyone took avoiding action, but Steve Owen, now that he's in the lead and broken clear, have a look at the margin and the sheer car speed advantage that the Tinter Car Commodore has.
Yeah, there's Steve Owen in a position we've seen him accustomed to this year. Out in front, clear road in front of him. He's definitely got the fastest car out there now. It's going to be a hard one to catch. Although Jack's got the eyes on and pushing hard, as you can see, as the car steps out on the exit.
The Alan H speed shot there, the exit of turn 2, up the old pit straight.
He's a brave cameraman, isn't he?
Yeah, we pay him a lot of money to do that. Here's David Reynolds, the on-time Tony D'Alberto Racing Commodore, runs 3rd, 2nd in the championship in his rookie year in the Fujitsu Series, last year's Porsche Carrera Cup champion, and still coming to grips with this car and getting the most out of qualifying.
Yeah, David's been very consistent this year in the car. That's last year's championship winning car. So he's certainly got a good package, and he's doing very well. He's really learning the car a lot. I've spent a bit of time with him at test days, and Andy, again.
But it's not your day. It's not your day.
Yes. Bad debut for Nandy.
Off on the exit of the sweeper.
Hopefully get out of there, because that's not a good situation to be in, off the end of the sweeper there.
So Steve Owen leading the way. We're on the run home. 1 to go at the end of this lap.
Oh, Dean Canto missed a gear or something there. A big gap straight back behind Dave Reynolds. That really hurt him. He was in a position to have a challenge for a podium place, but something's gone wrong.
Now Dale Wood hung out to dry. Some contact there with Jonathan Webb. And he's pushed back a couple of spots. That car, front damage, rear damage.
He's losing parts off it everywhere, isn't he?
But it's still going. Drew Russell in behind, doing a great job in this older model car. This is still running the older 18-degree Chevrolet engine rather than the newer HMS engine. But he's under heaps of pressure here. Brett Holdsworth's in there, Jay Vernick, Grant Denyer. The PlayStation 3 Falcon has come from the back row of the grid, and he and Dale Wood have really made an impact in this race.
Yeah, they've done quite well. I mean, obviously driving defensive in the last lap is allowed. You can do what you can to protect your line and make sure that no one can get through. So you'll notice a lot of these guys down the inside protecting that line again. We'll do that in the last lap of the race. During the course of the race, you can get black flag for that sort of behaviour.
Now Dale Wood, the team have put in massive amounts of hours to get that car back on the track after that race 1 incident, but this man, Steve Owen, has just set the fastest lap of the race on lap 13 and is bringing it home to turn 12. Yeah,
he's certainly got the bit between the teeth now. He wants that championship. He's in that strong position, and we've got another yellow flag out there on the final lap, so not too much overtaking in that part of the circuit.
Steve Owen will give himself pole position on aggregate for race 3.
Well done, boys. That's excellent driving, Steve.
Ryan McLeod on the headset there. Steve Owen takes race 2, clear of Jack Perkins and David Reynolds after leading for so long. Carl Reindler in 5th. Dale Wood 29th to 9th. And Drew Russell, top 10. Great drive.
Fantastic drive, and certainly sets ourselves up for a fantastic race 3.
Those guys up the front there are doing quite a good job, but when you're in a drying track and you're getting quicker and quicker, it's about sort of setting your roller bars and knowing where the grip is, and it was a good fun race. I enjoyed it.
Dean Canto will join Steve Owen on the front row for race 3. That's coming up after the break.